Thank you, Sung. And for the record, my wife laughs at all my jokes. But we won't be hearing a lot of jokes about the Sonics or anything like that. I'm very excited. I'm excited to hear from Mark Dunkelman, and I'm excited to see all of you sharing the energy of what I'm going to describe in a few minutes. I start by recognizing that I certainly can't do it alone. The elected leaders here cannot do it alone. The DSA are known for building these kind of collaborative partnerships, and so I'm very thankful that here in Seattle, we have this kind of ecosystem, and I do not take that for granted as your mayor. Looking back in 2024, we made incredible progress. I hope you'll agree that it's fueled in, I don't want to say in large part, but it's consistent with and aligned with what we are describing as our downtown activation plan. It's coordinated action, very strategic. It created a shared vision for a safe, active, and thriving city core. And I spent a lot of time talking to mayors all around the country on what this takes. Today is a shining example of what powerful transformations are possible when we come together. And again, I share with you that mayors would die for this kind of ecosystem of people, civic leaders, political leaders, philanthropic leaders, nonprofits, profit-based businesses working together. Look at what is happening. And when I describe downtown, I'm not describing a Monday to Friday pit stop. We talk about Sunday to Sunday neighborhoods where people can truly thrive, live, work, and play and explore every day of the week. 11 million visitors downtown last summer, starting 2025 very strong, with 2 million visitors in January alone. 10.5 million visitors to Seattle Center last year. That's 2.2 million monorail boardings. That's up 19%. We averaged nearly 97,000 daily workers this January, the highest daily average since March 2020. More than 100,000 people, of course, call downtown home. Now, we know that our path to continued progress downtown begins and must center around safety. That is my charter responsibility, and to show a little partiality toward the city council members that are here, they know that that is their charter responsibility as well. So when I took office over 3 years ago, we launched and developed and created the vision for what we affectionately call DAP, D-A-P, Downtown Activation Plan. In the first 5 months of DAT, Priority 1 calls are down over 50%, EMS dispatches are down 15%, violent crime is down 14% across downtown, with a projected 20% decrease along 3rd Avenue in the Pike Pine core. We are expanding DAT to now cover other locations downtown, including the CID and 12th and Jackson, and you're seeing results. Now, this has to be very intentional, quite honestly. I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that if we are to create the city that we all love, we have to be very strong in doing so. Fatal overdoses fell by 25.1% in Seattle 2024, outpacing King County because of our work to create an ecosystem of public health solutions. That's where I'm very proud that King County Executive Dow Constantine is here with some of his council members, because in the health space, they recognize the urgency of the hour. So we created our care department, and many of you have heard me talk about it before. It has responded to over 1,400 calls for service and is staffed now with 24 behavioral health responders. Now, we started this pilot downtown because that's where we saw the most acute need. But you saw the positive work that resulted from our efforts, and now we've demonstrated this pilot downtown, which has allowed us to expand the program citywide. Let's talk about police officers for the moment. For the first time in 5 years, we've hired more police officers than we lost. 4,300 applications, the most. We have the most applications since 2013. That's more than double those received in 2023. Last month, we hired 19 new officers. In January 2024, the preceding year, we'd have hired only 6. So that's over a threefold increase of what we're doing. Now, what's the bottom line? The bottom line is we are changing the trajectory of what we're doing relative to public safety, and I have a lot of people to thank for that. particularly members on my executive team and this new chief that I have, Sean Barnes, who we've hired out of Wisconsin with his theory of change, of leadership. We will see results that I think are unprecedented in this city. We did a national search, and many people may recall that our first national search, I had only received, really the top 3 were internal candidates. We built a city in which I could attract the kind of talent that you see now as part of our administration. So I need to thank DSA. They are a critical downtown partner. They are truly leaders. An example of this kind of partnership you saw in Memorial Stadium redevelopment. Now, the problem with Memorial Stadium redevelopment, which is going to be a phenomenal athletic and music scene. The problem is, in my State of the City speech, I described it after that damn basketball joke. That was the problem. But people still see the collaborative nature of what we're trying to do on our Seattle Center campus. Talk about Spark Block, the partnership that brought new lighting, murals, and activation along 3rd Avenue. Our Office of Arts and Culture, Hope Core Downtown Mural Project. Last year's the Mural Fest in Belltown have transformed public space with vibrant art. Our Seattle Restored program, led by phenomenal leader Markham McIntyre. 11 businesses transitioned from temporary to long-term leases last year. We supported, through his shop, 3 industry incubators, the M5 Creative Hub for film and other creative ventures, the Climate Innovation Hub to boost our green economy, and soon to open the AI House. Now, we should be very proud of this work. I'm not going to talk a lot about Overlook Walk. You saw some great renditions. But the fact of the matter is these legacy projects are the largest projects we've had since the 1962 World's Fair. They are redefining our city. We are putting ourselves in a position for the world to see as we prepare for the FIFA World Cup 2026, the world to see what this city is that we are driving together. We have been tenacious, relentless on this pursuit to strive for excellence in this city. Today's downtown is not just a picture of progress, it's a testament to what happens when you work hard together. You laugh together, you play together, you have a vision together. So I'll close these comments by saying that we cannot do this in a vacuum. We have to realize in the stage of national politics what we are up against. What is my job as a mayor of one of the largest cities in this country, a city of innovation? Now, we know that we have current litigation against the current administration for funding issues and what we believe we need to protect for our values, for our infrastructure. We're blessed to have, for example, at a meeting last week with Rick Larson, the ranking Congressman Larson, the ranking member in the Infrastructure and Transportation Infrastructure Committee. But litigation is, of course, oppositional and adversarial. My guess would be there's a few lawyers out there, as I'm a lawyer as well, that is one strategy that must be considered when we are fighting for this beautiful region, this Seattle and this King County and this state. That is one strategy. But there are other strategies as well. I'm involved with a Bloomberg Leadership Initiative with teams of my staff where we're looking at how do we still optimize who and what we are as a region. I am particularly concerned, and I've talked publicly and nationally about this, about issues in cybersecurity as we deploy and evaluate artificial intelligence. The fact of the matter is when we compete against China as one example, we also have to concern ourselves with protecting ourselves against China, protecting your business interests, protecting our private security. The lists of vulnerabilities that particularly AI presents are pretty significant. We know that the FCC is run by Brendan Carr, who did write the playbook for the FCC's chapter in Project 25. We know that our current president surrounds himself by some of the smartest innovators around. When we drop names like Andreessen or Peter Thiel or David Sachs or Elon Musk, these are smart innovators. And when you look at the world of regulation, I am concerned about our cybersecurity issues, so I will assure to you as your mayor, as the only mayor that was put on the Safety and Security Board for Artificial Intelligence, When I look at the National Institute of Standards and Technology or just one sec here. Obviously, I'm off script, but I get emotional when I start thinking about it. The National Institute of Standards and Technology, you are seeing massive layoffs. You're seeing, I think, last week, 130 people in these critical decisions laid off. That we have to concern ourselves with our protection. So as the chair of the Technology and Innovation Committee for the U.S. Conference of Mayors, I will fight for you that many of our largest employers are in this space. It affects us all. We, under some letters that I had written and got many other mayors to participate in, last year in 2024, we had opposed the American Broadband Deployment Act of 2023, HR 3557. What it did is took away local jurisdictions' ability to sort of look at broadband and high-speed internet and where we could deploy and how we could make sure we have an equitable way to deploy this technology. Last week, keeping my eyes on the Broadband Leadership Act, that again, one can argue, and I will argue, that it weakens local control in some of these important deployments that we should concern ourselves with. And I don't mean to close on a dire note, but the fact of the matter is, here in Seattle, these strong partnerships we developed, the strong visionaries that are listening to my words right now, with DSA's outstanding leadership, we still will make 2025 a phenomenal year for us. We are heading in the right direction. We are winners here in this region. We win because we are innovators. We work together. We listen to one another. 2024 was a great year for us, and going into 2025, this is when you dig deep. This is when you work harder. You know, in my athletic background, I lost a few games. All I did was work harder the next day. So, I close by saying, let's work harder together this year. We are a family, we are one Seattle, and we're going to rise here in 2025 together. Thank you very much.
Please welcome Ballard Spar Lane Powell.